This mutation is called Wheel of Misfortune and it is being played on Oblivion Express. Wheel of Misfortune is notorious for being very unpopular in the co-op community for good reason. It is based a lot on randomness. You can have a very easy run, or you can get completely shafted by mutators just purely through randomness out of your control. So the first set of starting mutators are Life Leech, Outbreak, and Missile Command. I think over here the more difficult ones to deal with here is Life Leech, especially for Dehaka. Dehaka he relies on a lot of slapping of the enemy units to weaken them, so that his Devours are being very effective. And just because these enemies have Life Leech, it means they're going to end up healing themselves before he'll be able to slap them, before he'll be able to devour them. You can see over here this Roach is just ending up healing every single volley it gets off. So I think Dehaka might have a lot of troubles getting this unit here. And I think using that Infestor also is not really going to help very much. And we'll see over here. See, these units have completely regenerated their HP. So Dehaka is going to eat one of these, I think survive, but I think he's going to get taken out here. And yeah, there you go. Dehaka goes down. And I don't even think Dehaka is worth reviving. I think if I was in this position, I would not have even sent Dehaka over there. I would have just sent him to slap the rocks, which is generally not what you want to do, but it's just utilizing whatever resources you have. So it's very unfortunate here for Dehaka, but that is Wheel of Misfortune for you. And you can see here, like, you know, the Dehaka player now is just getting punished just because of that Life Leech, just because of that randomness over there. And now this is the other problem here. These units will be coming out from Outbreak. And Dehaka will need a few defenses here to take care of these units. So we'll see what the plan is. I don't know if Dehaka might be fast revived or what the plan is. Are those things? Did those things aggro? No, they did not. Okay, I thought they aggroed Zagara's drones there. Yeah, so Dehaka gets fast revived just to end up cleaning up the side. That'll be okay. Both players are working away on their expansions, and yeah, they end up clearing both sides at roughly the same time, and now the gas rocks are going to get worked on, and Dehaka is basically going to be chilling over here. See, a lot of the damage now has been taken to these structures. Unfortunately, again, Dehaka requires to get his static defenses out if he wants to defend against Missile Command. But static defenses require the structure, the Glevig's Den, which he does not have access to, so he's just taking a lot of unnecessary damage. That extractor is almost completely taken out now. It will regenerate slowly, but it's going to take forever. A few units from Outbreak are harassing Dehaka's structure there, but Zagara comes up clean, and Dehaka now is cleaning up this bunch of Zerglings. Very nice jump in the middle, gets a lot of kills there, and he gets gets a little bit of essence here as well for this. But see how difficult like it is. Life Leech has now been cycled out, and Scorched Earth has been added, which is somewhat unfortunate, because let me show you what happens here. So when the missile, in this match, when the missile hits a structure with Scorched Earth, the missile actually is considered a unit and ends up setting the structure on fire. So there's going to be a lot of lost structures coming up now for these players, because there is nothing they can do about it. Another wave of zombies from the Outbreak, I should stop calling them zombies. Another wave of infested from Outbreak come up and start harassing Zagara's drone line here. There is a pull here for Zagara's drones. They're going to end up cleaning up these units here, but at what cost? A total of 6 drones have gone down so far, and one of Zagara's extractors have already been taken out there. I think there'll be more to come. Dehaka is on this side. I think he should be jumping into the middle there, just one-shotting, moving out of the way. Yeah, there we go. So he clears out that small escort there. Zagara drops a Frenzy and a bunch of Hunter Killers, and those things will end up DPSing the train down. And just see the amount of carnage that these missiles are causing. So I think Dehaka has also lost one of his extractors. He's lost 2 extractors. Okay, that's the second one that ended up going down. So there's a lot of carnage coming up right now. And yeah, Outbreak has ended, but now we have microtransactions, which again is a really unfortunate mutator. In the early game, you really need your economy, and you really need the ability to make your drones and be able to do whatever basically micro you need before something like this hits you, because you're still trying to set up and build up your economy. And a mutator like microtransactions causes a lot of problems there. Zergling evasion is unfortunately not enough. This is one of the final waves I've invested, by the way. Like, this is not a new infested spawn wave, It is just one that had spawned earlier in the mission before the mutator had been disabled. So Dehaka ends up cleaning up this side. The infested are again harassing these drones over here. Very unfortunate for Zagara, and that extractor also gets cleaned up by the Scorched Earth Mutator with the missile command. Dehaka has reset up his extractors, but this one's going to get set up on fire again. And you can just see the casualties there in terms of extractors, which is kind of funny. But also a lot of the Primal Wardens have been taken out for Dehaka, and now another extractor goes down because of the missile command. And yeah, there are, this is very, very unfortunate. A lot of the drones have also been cleaned up from the Outbreak Mutator there. 15 drones gone. Missile command has now ended, so the players are somewhat happy. And now we have evasive maneuvers, which is, considering the other combination of mutators they have had, evasive maneuvers is good. It is a lot easier to deal with. And unfortunately, there's only solo Dehaka here, so he's probably going to have to rely on Skull Downs to clean up this train there. So Glevik comes down. Very nice shot on the Scorched Breath here for Glevik, and that instantly cleans up a lot of the escort wave here. Only Zerglings and a few Banelings remaining, but that is no big deal. And now Zagara is also in position with the Hunter Killers. And hopefully they'll have enough damage to take this train out here. Over here, Zagara has decided to try and remax her economy. Again, good idea. And yeah, production-wise, all is good here. Dehaka is getting his level 1. He's getting his level 1 attack upgrades, and he's getting his Mutalisk upgrades as well. So Dehaka will probably be transitioning up into a Mutalisk build. And Zagara is basically just getting the ground upgrades here. Lots of Banelings are sitting over there. I think that's okay for now, but Zagara will probably want to utilize these Banelings at some point. So we'll see what the plan is over there. And now Scorched Earth has been removed, but Avenger comes in, and Avenger is not very good. I think Zagara will probably have to tap into that supply of Banelings there to help her deal with these enemy units, because these enemy units are going to get really, really nasty. Avenger with a Zerg composition is probably one of the nastiest things you could get here. These units are just all going to be buffed by Avenger. You can see these units are already really, really big and fat. And yeah, so Dehaka uses a Greater Primal Worm here to just help him provide a little bit of anti-air damage to these Avenger units. And Evasive Maneuver is not helping one bit here, causing these Mutalists to dodge every single shot there. But the commanders are able to clean up that attack wave with very minimal casualties. A lot of Banelings are sitting here. I would really like to see these Banelings being utilized for Zagara. At the moment, though, like, Dehaka only has one Mutalisk. He's going to be getting a few more out, but his economy has been stifled because of the microtransactions. As soon as microtransactions disappears, you'll see these economies really, really improving. So a bunch of Zerglings do get sent in here. Morvar gets dropped down now, and unfortunately, I don't know if Dehaka was able to eat that Infestor. I think the Roach drop ended up killing the Infestor. So microtransactions now gets removed, and Barrier now gets added, making these units a little bit more tanky. Overall, I think that is okay. I think getting rid of the microtransactions, even though there is Avenger, getting rid of microtransactions is huge, because you just see how these economies just instantly just shoot up now, and I think it'll be a lot better for the players in the long run. Just Avenger, as soon as Avenger gets removed, I think the mission will be a little bit easier for the players to deal with, assuming they don't get something else nasty like Void Rifts or something. But this train will end up being cleaned up. And again, Zagara is in position as well to help her ally, and reasonably okay there. And there are two hybrids over here now, and they are going to start attacking. Zagara is losing so many extractors. I kind of feel bad for Zagara, like very, very unfortunate. This base tends to get harassed a lot more than this one. So yeah, but there are two hybrids over there, and the Zerglings are going to be causing a lot of Banelings get called in now to help. And the hybrid will go down, but there is an attack wave that's making its way here now, and Dehaka is in position. Is he going to eat that Infestor? Yeah, eats the Infestor. Very nice eat there. Ends up wiping a lot of the units there, and there we go. So Evasive Maneuvers has gotten removed, and now we have Time Warp. Time Warp is a very good mutator for the commanders. It's just going to give them a little bit of breathing space to just improve their economies and just build up their armies right now, because it's not very impactful. It's one of the easier mutators to deal with. And now the double train wave comes in, and that one is the problem, because it is a very, very large escort wave. So there is the good thing is there are a bunch of infestors here for Dehaka to eat, but he has to be really careful. He does not really want to buff these units unnecessarily. Because go jump into the middle there. Very nice eat on the infestors. Now only the broodlords are alive. And that is, again, somewhat unfortunate. Zagara, unfortunately, does not have any Scourge. She is putting down a few more macro hatcheries, I believe, which is good. But Zagara needs a lot of Scourge now because this enemy composition is going to get really nasty. But Glevik does get dropped here, and the commanders are going to start eating their way through this train. And over here... there is nothing to address this train over here, and unfortunately going nuclear has spawned instead of Avenger. And now there is a nuke here. Instantly one-shots a lot of Zagara's aberrations. Zagara just like gets clocked on the head. It's like, what happened over there? And now there are Mutalisks in Zagara's base because the attack wave, the escort wave actually, has re-aggroed, I think due to some of Zagara's Banelings or Zerglings that were rallying across here. But that top train has been cleared. And now there are a lot of enemy units that are angry at Zagara, and one of Zagara's hatcheries go down. Scourge now joined into the mix, and that will be fine. And now Zagara will be able to deal... She has an answer now to these air units, but there is another attack wave that is coming up here, and that train is... I believe they're going to forfeit that train. They're just going to skip that, which is a good choice because the attack wave is just going to come in and it's going to start smashing the base. So a lot of air units here. That Greater Primal Worm is not going to do anything about it. But if Dehaka gets a good eat, like that, he can clear up a lot of the enemy units there, and that is that. So that attack wave is gone. Very nice eat there on Dehaka. There's another going nuclear. Dodge on both these commanders. Nicely played there. Nice dodge there. And so there. And now Avenger comes back, which is again very unfortunate. This is what I was talking about, just getting completely wrecked by RNG. So yeah, barrier goes away, Avenger comes back now, and there is a nuke comes up on Zagara. Zagara is not paying attention and slams instantly nukes pretty much all of Zagara's army over there. Zagara is probably being really salty right now. And now Dehaka is getting ready to engage this. He has to jump in, be careful with the infestors because he doesn't want to end up killing the infestors just like that. Unfortunately, Morvar, was it Morvar that ended up sniping the infestors? Yeah, it was Morvar that aggroed those infestors and ended up wiping all of Zagara's valuable ET units for its psionic ability. And now that attack wave is just going to be so much more difficult to deal with, and Zagara ends up getting killed off by this. Dehaka gets killed off by this, and now Zagara will have to try and deal with these max Avenger stacked units over here. Dehaka does pull in his Mutalisks now to end up cleaning up these air units. They do have the bonus damage to air, so they will be able to cut through these Broodlords relatively easily. How many Mutalisks does he have? He has about 18 Mutalisks. Not a lot, considering the circumstances, but now we are in... now we have a very nasty Mutator added. Polarity gets added to the mix. I cannot remember what Mutator got removed from this, but it was a very... Time Warp got removed, yes. Time Warp got removed, and now there is Polarity over here. And Polarity is really nasty. On this patch, the trains do not all have individual polarities. Each carriage has polarities, so both commanders can attack the train at the same time, as long as they're attacking the right carriage over here. But Polarity does mean that both commanders will have to be around in order to deal with an attack wave over here. Nice eat on Dehaka, eats one of these infestors, ends up wiping a lot of his units out, and now we have a bunch of Broodlords that need to be cleaned up by this, but I don't think any of these Scourge can attack these Broodlords. Dehaka will need to use his Mutalisks in here to take these Broodlords out and clean them up. Infestor drops a fungal on some of these Mutalisks, but you can see how tanky these Broodlords are. These things have a lot of HP, 450 HP, and now the next double train wave has spawned. And we'll see what the commanders decide to do over here. Going nuclear has been removed now, and now we have speed freaks, which is somewhat terrifying if you're not aware of the attack wave composition or the attack wave timings. But the trains do not have the speed freaks mutators, so these things will be moving at the same time at a normal speed. But it's only the escort waves and the attack waves that move a little bit faster over here. Roach drop comes down from Zagara. And there is again a corruption debuff on Dehaka, and he'll have to move out of the way a little bit to make sure he doesn't get nuked by some of these units, but he dodges that and eats the aberration and recharges some of his HP, and now these commanders will start focusing this train down. They're going to leave this train alone for a little bit. Few of Zagara's units are aggroing some of this, but this is mostly an air composition, so Zagara will need a lot of Scourge here. That train ends up getting cleaned up, and now the commanders have to go and deal with this train, because if this train goes through, they lose the game. So there we go, that train is going to get aggroed now, and Zagara ends up cleaning up some of these units with Scourge. Dehaka's Mutalisks clear up the rest of the escort wave, and there are a few units over here that are aggroing this side. Unfortunately, they are under polarity, so these things cannot fight back. And yeah, there we go. Avenger does get removed now, which is kind of good. And we'll see what the next mutator coming up is. There is an attack wave that is coming up now here, and it is Missile Command again. Missile Command is... This attack wave comes up a little bit early, ends up ninjaing Zagara's base here because they have speed freaks. Dehaka deep tunnels across here to help his ally. He needs to eat an infestor. And there we go. He eats the infestor, instantly clears up a large chunk of this attack wave. And now Zagara and the rest of these units here. This missile command is going to cause a few problems for the commanders because I don't think they are prepared. I think Zagara has some kind of static defense. Dehaka is not. He's scrambling to put down some static defenses now just to make sure they can deal with some of these missiles. I don't know if the nuclear missiles will be there, but these splitter missiles are already pretty nasty. They just explode and just shell everything around them. And now we have the next train that has to be dealt with. This is a single train wave, and both commanders should have no problems dealing with the train wave. The hard part is to actually deal with the attack wave that will be coming up from this side when this train reaches this point over here, because that attack wave will have speed freaks. So there we go, polarity now has been removed, so Dehaka can start cleaning up the entire escort waves in one eat, and now we have temporal field, which is a really good mutator to deal with because it is very, very easy. The debuff, corruption debuff comes up on Dehaka, and Dehaka is actually in God, almost I think he's already in Godzilla mode. Yeah, he's in Godzilla mode already. He doesn't really care anymore. He's really, really strong, but you can see how fast the attack wave is moving towards the player bases, and now there are a lot of Brood Lords and Mutalisks here. A Doctrine comes down. Unfortunately, Doctrine is not going to be very useful, and Dehaka deep tunnels across here. He needs to eat that one infestor that's sitting in the middle there, but unfortunately not able to get that. In fact, nukes with a Scorched Breath, and now there are a lot of Brood Lords and a lot of Corruptors here. That train does end up getting cleaned up by Zagara's army of Aberrations and Zerglings, and now they just have a bunch of air units. Zagara needs a few more Scourge so that she can clean up these Brood Lords, but Dehaka's Mutalisks jump in as well, cleans up the rest of those Brood Lords, and this is the last train that needs to be dealt with. Just remember that players did miss one of the trains in the first double train wave because of the unfortunate set of mutators they had. These Mutalisks are going to jump in here. Roach Drop comes in. Unfortunately, again, kills off a lot of those valuable infestors for Dehaka, but I think this train should be getting cleaned up relatively quickly. And now Lava Burst gets added to the mix here. So again, not very impactful because it can be dodged. And both commanders are just trying to focus fire down this train. Just make sure they end up cleaning up that train before anything else nasty happens, like Propagators and other unfun mutators to deal with. I believe that is the last train that is there. The unit's loss just shows how the extent of the onslaught over there, and that is GG.